We're here in Helsinki with Mille and Sami from Kreator. Welcome to Finland.
Thank you.
Here. So obviously the reason why we are here, you have a new album coming out at the end of January, Gods of Violence, I think the video for it. So what can we expect? Will it be a continuation of the previous albums like Phantom Antichrist, or will there be some new twist in the Kreator?
Well, first of all, since you're talking about the video, it's part of a video trilogy, so it's part one of that. There's two other songs called "Satan is Real" and the other one is "Total Terror," which are going to be also videos, which have the same stories being continued over there. And please continue.
You can expect not all the songs are like the title tracks. So it will be a very large variety of music on the new record. There's like soft bits. There's like sad bits, but there's also a lot of brutal bits and some very melodic, some very nice stuff. A lot of lead guitars, a lot of even the harp and the bagpipe. You get to hear that. So it's definitely some surprises for some people.
Yeah, especially the song "Total Terror" that you mentioned. There's going to be video because it seems like there's a combination. It's furious, it's angry, it's really trash, but then there are really melodic parts as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have an interesting combination of
That was our plan, if there was one. We wanted to continue the path that we from where we left off with Phantom Antichrist, but just give it a new twist, come up with something that's even more exciting, or exciting again.
Yeah. So how about the title, Gods of Violence? We already saw the first video. It was interesting graphic. And
it is about I wanted to make the connection about between current events and Greek mythology. So that kind of inspired the title. It kind of sums up the vibe of the record, I guess. Yeah. Kind of gives you like a good kickoff for the album.
Yeah.
It is a kind of a kickoff because the Gods of Violence come alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is there an underlying theme that links all the songs together, or it's not a concept album?
No.
Okay.
There was an idea at first to make this a concept album, but it felt forced. You know what I mean? It didn't feel natural to come up with a concept album. Concept albums, there's certain concept albums where there's moments that are, even on the best concept albums, maybe not with The Wall by Pink Floyd, but a couple of concept albums, there's moments that are kind of funny and cheesy, and all of a sudden, and then Mary Jane walked through the, I don't like it.
Yeah, I know.
What's the
Queensrÿche operation.
The middle one, people say.
But I think that was also a good concept album, right?
Well, it's great.
Yeah. But since we didn't, there should have. I mean, if you do a concept album, you have to find the cool way of how you connect the songs, and it has to have a certain storyline. And I didn't feel like I felt like a limitation in my creativity rather than adding something.
Yeah. Okay, so how did the creative process took place this time? Was it anything? Can you talk us through how the songs came about? Was it a long period of time, or just because I think it's been 5 years since Phantom Antichrist?
Yeah, hell of a long time.
Yeah. So how?
Well, I was asking for Mille to send demos, but then he was taking his time. So not yet. I'm sending them. But then the first one came. He sent the rest of the band around 2013. It was, so that's a long time ago.
Okay. But the first one came to you in 2015.
Oh yeah. That's. I'm sorry, I meant the wrong word, the wrong number.
Which
there.
is a long time with But I need this time to reflect on the music, and maybe in the future we'll work differently. Maybe we'll send the demos out once they're there. We can discuss maybe.
So if you compare the first demos to the finished album, is there a big difference?
The Gods of Violence song, it's basically still almost.
Yeah.
The arrangement has changed a little bit, but other than that, the song is still almost the same.
Yeah, same goes for Satan is Real.
Oh, yeah.
But the other songs, they.
Oh yeah, other songs are totally different.
Yeah, okay. So how much the rest of the band contribute to the arrangements and songs? Obviously, the lyrics come from you.
A lot. Like when it comes to feeling, and when it comes to especially like harmonies, melodies. You know that everyone is just allowed to do whatever they feel like, especially also Sami and Ventor, when they have to come up with their own drum beats and melodic interludes or whatever, you know. So whatever helps the song, really.
So how about the guitar parts in the studio? How do you divide them? Does it come naturally?
Everybody plays what they play.
Yeah,
they play what they
play. But some solos even we took from the demos, right? Some ideas, some of the ideas that I'm when I write when I do the demos, I write certain parts. I like even solos, and the basic idea is there. But then when we're in the studio, we work on make it more interesting and make it even better. And
and there was demos, and then there were demos of demos, and demos and demos of demos, and demo of a part. And
yeah. So how much, for example, the guitar sound? How do you build it in the studio?
I was talking about some. I was doing some gear talk yesterday with a. Do you remember what amp we used on the record?
Well, it was the Fender's edition of the 5150 that I used the most. You were playing mostly with the Mesa Boogie.
See, I didn't know that. I told them that I played the 5150. But
there was a. We didn't play any digital equipment with the guitars. We mic'd it up old school, and then went through compressors and exciters and different preamps that Jens had in the studio, because that's the point of going to his studio, because that's how you get that sound that you get in Fascination Street. And there was like amps, a hell of a lot of them, and carrying them around all the time, and then clean sounds through an old vintage Gibson amp, and then there were Marshalls and all kinds of stuff. You know.
Very good.
But when we're live, I'm allowed to say that we as campers.
Yeah, you're allowed to officially say that.
Officially now. Yeah.
But you get great sound, analogically, not necessarily digitally, if you have the right tools.
I think so. There is a difference, even though it might not be clearly visible, but it's also to have that unique sound that for this album. It's very important, I think.
And there's also some songs where you can hear in the beginning, you hear a different amp as in the, let's say, middle part or something.
Yeah.
It's whatever it took,
Yeah, to get a great sound. Yeah. Okay, since Violent Revolution, many people point to Violent Revolution as a beginning of some sort of rebirth, resurrection of Kreator, or like the end. What do you think about? Do you agree with the Violent Revolution being?
That was definitely a kick-up. It's also the moment when Sami joined, and I think that really, like, we haven't changed lineup since, and that showed that tells a lot, because we got to a point where we can really, we're a good team, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess Violent Revolution was the kickoff.
It's a long time.
That is a long time.
But anyway, if you said that if we feel if there's a progression, yes, for sure. I think there's with every album. If you compare Endless Pain to this new one, I think there's quite a progression.
Yes, there is.
Even though I'm not saying that it's worse or better, but
some people will go like Endless Pain is better.
And personally, I think Outkast also has some good songs.
Thank you.
So it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it's hard, when you have 14 albums. This is the 14th album. It's hard to reinvent. You have to always think this is the first album. You always have to reinvent the whole, rethink, like not overthink stuff, but really try to give your best on it. Every time you put out an album.
And speaking of those old albums, in the 1990s, that was a difficult time for metal. So do you think that had an influence with how the albums that you made in the
It wasn't only a difficult time for metal, but it was also a very exciting time, since it seemed like there was no rules, and we were developing as artists, as musicians, and it was difficult because we had lineup problems for us. And I think if Sami would have joined in the middle of the 90s, maybe the progression would have been earlier. You know, we would have maybe come up with something completely different. But then again, you never know. You know, we were all busy, like playing. He was busy playing in other bands. I was busy keeping the lineup together, fighting record companies, and so I was really happy when the 90s were over and we got the new deal with SPB, Sami in the band, and some good tours, and you know, from then onward, we just kept it like that.
And you know, you have a tour coming up with Sepultura and Soilwork and Aborted.
10th of February in Helsinki, and 11th in Tampere.
Yes. So what can we expect from that tour?
Oh, it's gonna be good, man. It's a great lineup. We have also visually we will bring the show that we had used in 2015. We'll have a new images on tour. We will have like a nice almost three-dimensional like stage setup as we speak. Our light designer is working on these things in Austria, and it's going to be spectacular. Not only because the lineup is heavy, but also because we're finally able to present a new show and the new songs to our fans.
So is it difficult, or I suppose it is difficult somehow to put a set list together because you have such a big history? You know, have you thought about already? Do you know the songs?
Well, we haven't talked about it specifically, but I'd love to have at least 5 or 6 songs in the new set. Maybe I don't know. I hope it's not too much.
No. It cannot be too much. But we have to play Pleasure to Kill also.
So many still remember you had a tour with the other German thrash greats, with Sodom and Destruction. You had a tour together with those two bands, right? Some years ago. I think that tour was in Finland as well.
It was in Austria.
So have you got any plans of revisiting that, or because that was such a great no?
To give a real answer to your question, it's about scheduling, and it's about like, you know, so we would like to play some shows with these other 2 German bands, but it's not our focus. You know?
Tours.
Okay, so actually just a few weeks ago, it was 30 years since the release of Pleasure to Kill. You know, and the next year it will be 30th anniversary of Terrible Certainty. I think it's coming up. So do you have any plans to like?
Oh, we know what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait until Coma of Souls, and then we're gonna play all 5 albums.
Yeah, exactly. That was my question. So we are going to see, because
there's no real. I mean, I was talking about this. I don't think, Sami, would it be interesting for you to play a set list with only songs up to Coma of Souls? Seriously, now, as this is a official question.
Well, maybe not. At least not now. And now I'm looking forward to playing the new stuff.
See, that's what I meant. There's always like this question comes up a lot, and we're all like, we could see this happening, but there's no time, and we don't want to overdo things. And if we want to focus on the tour for the new album now, when are we gonna do the classic tour? Why would we do it? You know?
It would eat time from the next album.
Absolutely.
So
that's. I remember when we were on tour with Exodus in Japan. All of a sudden, they played the whole Bonded by Blood album. And it was good. It was good. But then on the other hand, I was like, okay, it's long, you know. And this is thrash metal. I mean, it's not like. I don't see the reason why. I mean, there's also, I said that before too. There's also a reason why certain songs never made it into playlists back in the day even. There was on Pleasure Kill, there was a couple of songs that we never played live for a reason. And if we would try it nowadays, maybe it would have been amazing, but maybe it also suck.
But it's also amazing that There's still a couple of shows that are often a couple of songs that are often on the set list from an album from 1986. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Yeah.
They're old. The songs are old.
Yeah.
They made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it.
But you know, I was listening to Pleasure to Kill and then this new stuff, and although there is a clear difference, you can still sense that the anger is there, the drive is there. So how do you keep the anger and the drive still 30 years after the first album? Is it the same anger still?
It is. Yeah, it's a 17-year-old me.
Yeah.
I guess, which, as long as this band is alive, shouldn't die. And, you know, you should always keep that naivety when you play and perform music. That's my opinion. I think that's makes it more exciting.
Yeah.
Or it makes it exciting. There's this is what the energy that you're talking about is. You should never lose that. You should always see it from. Also, be able to question yourself, and especially when you come out with a new album, you always have to try to put yourself into the fans' position, and especially the fans that are aware of the history of the band. When you listen to the new album, and will they go, you know what? This is not as good as anything they've done before, so it's irrelevant. So that's the only way, like how you can, like, it's not like we sit in a rehearsal room and go like, oh man, what can we do to write a great new album? But it has to come naturally, and we have to feel it somehow, you know. And then if we're happy with the songs and we're all like, yeah, these songs are really good, then other people can enjoy them as well. If we would not be like convinced, then no one else will be enjoying it.
Yeah. Okay, one more question. This is for the both of you. Where do you see Kreator 10 years from now? Are you servant in heaven, king in hell, or evil on earth?
King in hell, of course. 26.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. 10 years from now, we never know what's going to happen. You know, maybe the world's not going to be there in 10 years. Who knows?
I hope it is.
I hope it is too. Well, if the world's going to be there, we might be there as well. If we don't die, I think we just keep going and keep looking. We just keep. 10 years is not such a. I mean, it seems like an eternity, but it goes by very quick, especially when we get older. So. We'll see.